Welcome to Red and Black Sport for yet another week. Well, question for you this week. If you were Aaron Cruden, what would you have done with 4 minutes to go? Would you have taken the 3 points? It was 15 all. Or would you have thought there could be a try because England were down to 14 men? I really don't have an opinion on it. I was there and I thought, what on earth is he doing? But then I'm a traditionalist when it comes to Test rugby, you win at all costs. But a lot can happen between tapping the ball and getting it to Cronway Smith to actually score in the corner. There's a lot could go wrong. Anyway, little man got away with it and he'd be delighted. But I'd just be interested in your thoughts. Just send me an email, let me know what you think. What would you have done? Remember, it's heat of the moment stuff. He didn't go to McCaw, made up his own mind, bang, we're going to go with the tap. They were rewarded with a 5-pointer, so there we are. Interesting call. Highlight of the weekend, I didn't think I'd get my guest actually in today because he's here with the Waikato Pistons and the Rams got up and over them last night. So, but he is a legend and it's great to have him here. Pero Cameron, commiserations, but I don't mean it.
Cheers, Pete. Thanks, mate. Yeah, tough game last night. You know, they really took it to us, and they haven't been playing well during the season. But you know, we are very aware of their talent they've got, and they put it together last night.
We've also got to remember that you'd been in Nelson playing the night before. It's quite a haul, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tough turnaround, but that's everybody. Everybody has that double header somewhere along the track.
Right.
And you know, we were trying to get 2 wins. We didn't come away with 2 wins. We come away with the important one against Nelson. Mm-hmm. And you know, we got it all ahead of us. We get the Rams next week, though. So
yeah,
that's good.
yeah, back up your patch. Yeah, yes. Which would be interesting. How are they travelling, in your opinion? How do you think the Rams are actually travelling?
Oh, new franchise. You know, this is a team that, or an area that used to be pretty big in basketball
huge.
In the 90s and that. So
we're just talking off here about Keith Meyer. There's a name you might want to remember. Keith Meyer. So there you go. He's back in Wellington apparently. But they were great days. I mean, we packed out Cal Stadium. It was chocolate. We had the Ramfleet Shield going at that same stage, which you know was pretty good.
You had a lot going, mate.
We did. Yeah.
I didn't enjoy coming down here. They said kill. I said cows. But it's all good. Yeah.
Tell me, the question I've always wanted to ask about basketball: when do you actually fall in love with basketball? When you choose it as your sport, or when you get too tall to do anything else?
I think most people play it, all kids. You know, I remember having a chat with Graham Murray. He was he loved the game when he was up in Naki and he was playing. A lot of players played it. They went on to different things in different sports.
You didn't though?
No, I was actually the league player. You know, and my mum was the baller and my dad was the league player, and somewhere along there I started enjoying sports indoors and not outdoors.
Where were you playing your league? Whereabouts?
Up in Northland.
Well, it wasn't too bad a weather.
Yeah, mate, a lot of glass on the grass up there, you know.
Oh, softy, softy. Yeah. All those going boys, they loved it up there, mate.
Yeah, they were good. I played a bit of rugby against them up there.
So you then got to basketball. Was it big at school?
It was big at school. It was big at Whangarei Boys.
Where are you at, sorry?
Whangarei Boys High.
Yeah, Whangarei Boys High.
And it was big in the area. You know, we had a team, Mobile Martyrs, Northland Mobile Martyrs up there, and it was a growing sport. It was growing in the country. So,
has it amazed you how it has developed? I think it's the largest participant sport now by school kids, isn't it? In New Zealand?
It is. It's pretty big. Yeah. But again, it's, you know, it's not much for them after school if you don't make it to elite into clubs.
Yeah, but that's sport, isn't it now? It seems to be the way. I mean, if you're in your first 15 and you don't make the academy side, well, why do you play rugby? I mean, they want instant coffee, the kids, don't they?
Yeah.
You had to work for it.
Yeah. It is, you know, and back then there wasn't as much people playing the sport, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think there was.
But you had to still work hard, didn't you, to get there?
That's with everything, though.
You should never get a New Zealand singlet unless you've worked hard.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. There's opportunities happen for you, but
do they retire your number?
No, you only internationally you play with set 4 to 15. Yeah. And it doesn't matter who you are, you know. Which is a good thing. Mate. It's a great thing.
Yeah. So we were actually up and talking with, I'm not big noting, but I was in the same hotel as the legend McCaw was. So I wonder if they'll retire number 7. You know, I don't think you can ever retire number 7 on a rugby team. But anyway, got another guest here who, you know, we're talking rugby, and he's probably not so excited about us talking rugby at the moment because he's. Well, he's been in Australia for a long time. You were Australian born, were you, Greg, or not?
No, New Zealand born.
Oh, just went out for the big money.
I went over there for 10 years coaching.
Yeah, coaching. Tell us, that's interesting. Yeah.
That started back in about 2006.
We're talking cricket coaching here, guys. So
so I started there with. I actually did my accreditations over at Queensland Cricket. So from that there, I met a guy by the name of Jeff Foley, who was currently playing for the Bulls at that time, and he sort of had an agency going, and what he did. He picked me up. So I spent the first 6 months I spent in Rockhampton, which was a bit of a eye-opener, especially because of the heat and bits and pieces. But coached there, coached in Darwin, coached in Tasmania, and then finished up in Albury Wodonga.
When you say coaching, were you a specific coach? Like, were you batting, fielding, bowling?
I was pretty much head coach of the club, so I coached the coaches as well.
Did you play cricket in New Zealand?
Many moons ago.
Whereabouts?
Down in Timaru. So,
Timaru boy?
Yeah, I toured Australia back in when was that, 91.
Right.
So that wasn't yesterday, obviously. So, and that was for 3 weeks with the Canterbury Kiwis. So,
The Kiwis, And the Emus used to play.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
yeah.
So,
Great experience.
oh, it was awesome 3 weeks. Awesome.
Who else played in South Canterbury at that time?
We were back.
Was Park still playing?
Murray, Murray
Murray's
was.
still
Murray and I were at the same club, Timaru Club.
Right, yeah.
Craig Cummings was coming through. Just a large
So
number.
you just up stakes and went to Australia,
Yeah,
hoping?
When I got the contact with Jeff, he said, "Look, there's some good opportunities over here." So, and like Rockhampton, they looked after me well. You know, they paid the airfares, they paid all the accommodation, phone, car, and then I did some private coaching over there with Rockhampton Grammar as well.
So there was a few bob in it?
Yeah, it was certainly worthwhile.
Were you still playing? Or?
No, I'd sort of had enough by then. So, but coaching was, full-on coaching for 10 years, and then I started a few years later after that in Albury Wodonga, which is right on the border of New South and Vic. I started a academy there with Colin Miller, former Test Australian cricketer. So we had our own academy.
Why would you pick that area?
One of the things about when you get placed, when you're coaching, you don't really have a lot of opportunity of where you go. You get told where to go.
Right.
So, that was part of what I wanted to do. I just wanted to have a good look around, and I think the only place I never got to in Australia was Perth. And we used to have some pretty good competitions in Albury Wodonga, where we used to play in a Connacht Cup based up in Canberra. And then we obviously had also the Country Week in Melbourne, which was Victorian Country Week. So that was just a large number of all the sort of country smaller towns around in the Victoria region.
But
just
cricket is so strong, isn't it?
Oh, it
The
is.
building-
Yeah.
Especially Victoria. I mean, they're mad. I was Sydney are too. So,
The opportunity.
It's their sport, isn't it?
Yeah,
Their
absolutely.
national sport, like we are with rugby.
Yeah.
Their cricket is huge.
For
Just
sure.
correct me if I'm wrong. This is when you've got absolutely nothing else in your head to think about, you think of rubbish. But tell me, Albury, the dog sat on the tucker box 5 miles from Gundagai. Is that just out of Albury?
I think that could be somewhere where Ned Kelly came from down
I
Nicaragua.
just remember because
yeah.
I had a cousin of mine who was coaching league in Wagga Wagga.
Oh, yeah.
And I came up
That's
through
up the
that.
road a bit, yeah.
It's all about my show. I'll talk whatever I like. Just go and put the jug on if you like. We're back again, though. We're going to talk basketball. We're going to talk sports promotion, which is an interesting field. Big field if you can get it and get it to go right. So back in a moment on Red and Black Sport. Welcome back. I always promised that one day we'll film the ad break. I just caught a little bit of flack from my director about is this a travel program? So just talking about Gundagai, I thought that was quite interesting. We had the Going Brothers from Whangarei with Pero, so that's good. Okay, Pero, let's have a look at your career, mate. You I think, are the most capped New Zealand basketballer?
No.
You are so.
No,
You're the most in NBL history. 9 as a player and 2 as a coach, winning.
Oh, well, yeah, won a couple.
No, you did not.
Yeah,
Bouch
Bouch has
won a lot
won
more.
Bouch has won a couple. Jones has won a couple. Henry has won a couple.
Yeah, but as a player, to win the NBL, how big was that for you?
Yeah, it's what you strive for. It's a pretty heavy trophy. But it's what you go for. It's where we put all our thoughts to.
So who'd you win them all with?
First couple of years with Auckland, and then down to the Waikato for the last couple, and then obviously to the Saints in the last 2 years coaching.
The Saints really became an institution, didn't they? Like the Rams here when we were big.
They were. I think in early years they were, and the last 10 years have really come back onto the scene. But the Rams were always there, for years back with the Saints. It was always Rams, Saints, and then the odd Palmy, New Plymouth,
I think the Nuggets might have had a bit of a go at one stage.
Nuggets had a couple, The Dickles
yeah.
had them going down there for a while with Glenn Denham and them.
Yeah.
Hutt Valley, Pokai there. Yeah. And so some good times as well.
Were you purchased? Were you transferred? How does it? How did you go from one
Purchased. Oh, yeah. I
Yeah, was
think-
there much money involved? That's what I'm getting at.
a little bit. It was more sold off from my dad, you know.
Well, you got to get rid of
Well, my first couple of years in Waikato, there was no money,
No.
nothing, and that was fine. You got to pay your dues and you work hard and you get bigger and better things later. The next sort of 5-6 years was in Auckland.
Any headhunting from Australia?
I did actually. You talked about Rockhampton there for a while, and it's funny. I met a coach out there in the age groups. He was crazy, this American coach, and trying to sell the Rockhampton like it was Vegas. And the way you guys talk about it, maybe it was Vegas, you know. But there's a couple of places there that popped out, and I could have gone and chose not to. I was a bit of a homeboy, and probably should
Were
have.
you comfortable? Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Fair
and
enough. Yeah.
Whangarei guy, and
Yeah.
you know, my first couple of weeks out of Whangarei in Waikato, I caught the bus home twice. So
Did you?
Yeah, a bit scared. But next year I was good, you know. And
You got a
that's
bit
how-
better.
That's how it goes.
Tell me, was Mike Budd playing up there at the time?
Mike-
Budd, was he playing rugby up there at the time?
No, I don't know,
Big
Mike.
tall
But,
Mike. Well, Ian Jones came in just after him. So,
oh, yeah. So
yeah.
my guys were like Charlie Gowen and Warren Johnson, Taylor Brothers, you know.
Never mind, I digress. Right, but now we're going to go into another area which is, I think, intriguing to me, and I may tell you a story about it a bit later on if I get time, but sports promotion, or promotion in general, and this is what Greg Chackle has decided to knuckle down and do. He's got a company called Promo Sport. Why is he here? Well, I'm going to tell you why he's here, because we've got the Sydney Kings coming for a match against the Breakers. They are here at CBS Arena on the 30th of September, and for all our viewers further down in the south, 2nd of October, you're at the Forsyth Bar in Dunedin. I went last year, was blown away. And I've got to, and I'm not having you on this, Greg, I was mightily impressed with the professionalism of the promotion of the event. So, and I, seriously, because we'd heard a lot about the Breakers, about how professional they are, and I thought, oh, they must have brought their own crowd down. Didn't realise it was actually you, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been, we started it in 2012, and that came about...
Where?
Here in Christchurch.
Right.
So basically, Dylan Boucher have been doing a bit of guest speaking for me, and I've got probably half a dozen guys, or a few more than that maybe, that do guest speaking. So in that role, they go out into schools, they go out to sports clubs, they go to associations, and then we... it's a good way for those guys to make some money as well, having someone come in and talk and that. And to diverse a little bit from that, we also do clinics and all that sort of stuff as well. But when Dylan was down once, I said to him, mate, I said, how come the Breakers never ever come to the South Island? They're named the New Zealand Breakers. So it's basically everything's on the North Shore, everything's at Victor, etc., etc. So he said, well, hey, that sounds like a really good idea. I said, let's get them down here. So he said...
You wouldn't get a league fixture though, would you?
Not yet, no. Not yet, no.
Keep working.
So basically, he teed a meeting up with Richard Clark, the general manager of the Breakers.
Yeah.
So I went up there and had a chat to Richards, and he said, well, there is some opportunity, and it's basically pre-season. I said, well, for the sake of the South Island folk, so to speak, having a look and seeing the Breakers, because the good thing about Christchurch...
Well, we didn't have the Rams then either, did we? So,
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
we were starved of basketball.
The thing is with the Breakers, with Christchurch, is that Christchurch folk are the first people off the rank, so to speak, to get to have a look at the new look Breakers after a season with all the new imports, etc., etc. So 2012, we played the Wollongong Hawks here in Christchurch to a crowd of about 5,500. And then we went on to Dunedin and played down there to a full packed out Ega Centre down there. Last year we had the Tigers over, and we actually, from a promoter's point of view, took a little bit more of a risk on to actually increase those numbers. And we increased those numbers just on 1,000, so we had basically just under 6,500 in that arena last year.
What does it actually hold?
About 6,500.
Yeah, I should say, be up the guns. Yeah.
So, and then last year's second game was actually in Wellington, so at TSB
We lost the
Arena.
game here, didn't we? By one.
Last year, yeah, against the Tigers.
Really ripped my night here, did too,
Yeah.
us cross. But never mind. But I thought the promotion thing, we're going to talk about how you get
Yeah.
around keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
Coming up, don't give all your trade secrets away, because I might actually end up using them myself. But there we are. Why you're still in basketball is a question I'm going to ask you too. Have you not had enough of it, or is it too much of your life?
Coaching. My mum was a coach. You know, I enjoy coaching. My kids play, and I enjoy it. You know, passing on the experience.
I bet he doesn't get up too early in the morning. Basketball is a great one to sleep in, I can tell you. Okay, you are. Money because I play at night, I suppose. Okay, back for the last time, and we're going to find out about Gordy's golf prowess as well. Welcome back. Last part of Red and Black Sport for this week. I've got Greg Shackle with me, who is Promo Sports. He's going to bring the Sky City Breakers down here again. It was a wonderful occasion last time. He's also going down to Dunedin, so that's good for all you viewers from down south. Pero Cameron, who's the coach of the Waikato Pistons, who got an absolute slacking last night by the Rams. Go you good things. Not quite true, chap, but never mind. Okay, while he cools down and doesn't deck me, we'll go out and have a look at how Gordy's golf's improving. Now, we've seen him have a crack at most clubs, but this is the one that wins the tournaments. It's called the putter. Let's have a look at Gordy.
That's come up a wee bit short. Yeah. Thankfully, though, I've got Jordan here with me from Ferrymead Golf. Today, working on some putting. How can I improve?
Yeah, look, it's quite common in winter that we leave our putts short, especially from longer distance. The greens are softer and slower, the grass is thicker.
Right.
So what we want to do is develop a stroke that's got a little more acceleration to it.
Okay.
With your stroke there, we've got a long backswing and a slower downswing, so the club's decelerating when it's hitting the ball. We want to work on a short backstroke, long follow through, and accelerate that putter through the ball.
Which is probably not how I'd normally associate putting with.
No, a lot of people slow down.
I want a shorter backswing.
Long through.
Okay.
All right.
And then sort of just push through with it.
Yep, push it through to the hole. That's it. See how much better roll you get on it.
I mean, obviously I haven't got the line right there, but in terms of distance, pretty good on that one, I think.
The ball always roll a little more end over end.
Yep.
This is also great when you've got the short putts around the hole. Always make sure you're hitting a positive putt.
Okay, and in terms of my posture,
yep,
how should I be lining myself up to the hole?
We're looking for straight lines. So if you've got a straight putt, we want to have your body lined up with the feet, knees, hips, shoulders, nice and straight. Almost like a railway line effect to that hole.
And where should the ball be, sort of?
The ball,
in the
for
middle,
most people, is pretty much in the centre of their stance.
Pretty much in the centre?
There's some variations for some very advanced putting.
Let's see if I can get one then, eh?
Nice roll on it.
It's going a wee bit to the right, isn't it?
Same one a little bit left.
I didn't win any awards for reading the green.
That's better. Look at that.
Almost.
Oh, nearly.
So close. Right, so that's a big one to remember over winter with the slower greens, shorter backswing, and you want to push through on it.
Yeah, push through to your target line.
And hopefully that should help you out with the slower greens over winter.
That's right.
All right, thanks very much for that, Jordan.
No worries.
Also, guys, don't forget, out here at Ferrymead Golf, they've got the pro shop behind me where you can get all the latest season's wear to look flash out on the course. Also have mini golf out here as well as the 9-hole course for you to enjoy.
Welcome back. We were just chatting. We think that we probably helped Gordy there. Pero reckons if he got a bigger shirt, it might help him with his putting. So we just... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to dob you there at all, mate.
It's more the design of flannel shit, wasn't it?
Let's get back to it. We've got Commonwealth Games this year. You went, you got a silver. How enjoyable is the Com Games?
Yeah, it's pretty good. A bit different. It's been a while. 2006, I think, in Melbourne we were there. We lost in the final game. We got silver. We wanted gold, though. We had a chance.
Who'd you lose to?
Australia. You know.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it hurts.
But you haven't got the States. You haven't got Russia. Yeah, it must be a more even playing field, is it, for you guys?
Yeah, it is. But, you know, the other countries, Nigeria and Great Britain, are very tough. You know, they're very tough.
But the actual occasion of the Commonwealth Games, more intimate than an Olympic Games, I presume, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, you're actually one of the top 6 countries there. You know, you get Olympics, and everybody just walks around. You think,
who the hell are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Or why are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose you think that sometimes too, do you? Why the hell are we here? When you see the big timber going around.
I think the first one in Sydney, you know, I got a few autographs from some of the athletes around the village. You know.
Oh, they'd only be people from Whangarei.
But, you know, we wanted to win. We did pretty good that year. And then later on, the next Olympics, we were pretty focused, played really well.
Played really well, yeah. Well, we've got a guy out there called Adams, Stephen Adams.
Big Steve.
Have you seen anyone better come from New Zealand?
Mate, he's as good as it gets. I think not just New Zealand, talking about kind of anywhere. You know, you see him play out there. You see him play in the last finals against Duncan, and he towers over him. You see him line up against all the other centres. He's bigger, better, and faster.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's not as skillful. He needs the experience, you know.
Right.
But he's bigger, and everybody looks at him like, wow. You know.
Sean Marks, I mean, he was probably one of the flag bearers to go through, wasn't he?
At my time, he was physically the best in the country. You know, 6'10", could jump up, touch the top of the backboard. He could shoot the ball, and talented, great guy. And you know, he went to high heights. But this kid
Now,
here,
he stayed involved though, hasn't he, Pero?
oh yeah, he went up on the administration side. He was second to the GM, and now he's jumped on the other side. He's a third assistant coach for the Spurs.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're talking, you know, pretty good career prospects for him.
Yeah, you know, coaching-wise, definitely,
Yes.
and that's another avenue for our young aspiring kids to get up there. You know,
Well, you've got to have them, and then I presume someone like Stephen Adams will get retained later on and have a non-playing part somewhere in the game. So
well, there's another Kiwi over there in the Spurs team, Baines. You know, he's from Gisborne. You know, he moved to Aussie when I think he was like 9 or 10, but he's from Gizzy, and it's great to have another Kiwi there.
From your point of view, Greg, how important it is that we bring the sport to the people. I mean, I've met kids who reckon the All Blacks only ever play on television.
Yeah.
You know, because they can't get to see them. They don't get to the games. It's important, isn't it, from your point of view?
That's a good point. You know, it's about, from where I'm probably coming from, is providing opportunities, providing the likes of using Pero, Dylan. You know, I use Shane Cameron to do a lot of stuff as well. About getting the kids in front of those guys. Like last night we were out at Rangiora, we did a coaching clinic out there. We're off to Timaru shortly to do a coaching clinic down there, and then a guest speaking gig later on tonight. So it's just about...
Your old home patch.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're coming to hear you, Pero.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. But it's one of those things, and that's very important, is about, as I say, providing those opportunities to kids to get these guys in front of them so they can actually listen to their stories where they've been, because the stories are, you know, a bit of a roller coaster. They've been up, they've been down, and that is one of the keys to what we're trying to put out there and get across.
Fair enough too, I think. Fair enough. I was at, as I stayed at the Heritage, and the All Blacks were there. None of them seemed to be annoyed or pressured by, the kids particularly. They're all standing outside breakfast waiting to get their jersey done or something. It's so important, isn't it? It's a big part for your sport.
Huge.
You know, everyone wants the dollar. Everyone wants to try and get to... How's sponsorship? How do you find getting the sponsors coming on board for you?
It all depends what brand it is and what you're doing. And obviously, something like the Breakers have a huge brand, and I wouldn't say an easy sell, but they're an easier sell than some other things.
It's a good, clean image too, isn't it?
It is, yeah, pretty much it is, yeah.
Did you ever get asked to throw a game?
What?
Throw a game. Just talk about max pitching. Just went through my mind.
Nah.
Didn't?
No.
Because that wouldn't be too difficult a thing, would it, to miss the basket?
Yeah, it's hard if you're a shooter, though. You know, if you're a shooter,
You don't shoot at 100.
Nah.
No, come on.
really.
I'm just thinking about it. Yeah. But I mean, that's a danger, isn't it? The sport can get tarnished. So it's pretty important that you maintain standards.
Well, one of the things that we do with the break is we do a lot of community-based things when the guys are here for the week. So they'll go and visit schools, or there'll be a charity dinner where the charity will raise the money that night. And
Who gets to carry the ball out? I love that.
We did.
That's a great compliment.
Kids. Yeah, exactly, and that's what it's all about. Just the little bit of limelight in front of 6,500 people. But there's, as I say, there's a lot of different things that we do, and we get a.
We're going to talk to Greg in more depth, obviously, about the build-up as we get closer to it. But just pencil that in. 30 September, the Kings are here from Sydney, and they're playing the Breakers. And then if you're down in Otago, you can go to the 2nd of October to see them. Pero Cameron, great to have you here. You've got us next week, but we're up at your place. Yeah, might be a bit different. We'll find out about that. Greg, we'll keep in touch because we want to keep following this with you. Don't forget, we're out at Rangiora High School for the Press Cup, 12 o'clock on Saturday. See you out there.